So you just kind of helped break down the difference between substance use, substance abuse, and addiction. Now, for many youth ministers who may know that their young person is using, even abusing a substance, how do they know when it has become to the point of addiction and they need to get help? Or just can you tell us, what are there markers? Are there how do they recognize?
Well, first of all, in terms of markers, young people who are addicted, like anyone else who has a substance use disorder or an addiction, become remarkably gifted at covering that up. People learn how to compensate for the way they feel inside and the way they appear on the outside. So I don't think youth ministers should feel terrible if they realize they just can't tell. It's very hard to tell sometimes, and sometimes it's not. Because sometimes we get a cluster of what I like to think about as warning signs. Any one of those by itself could mean something else. For instance, a young person's experience going from being involved in sports or music or high-level academics, when that falls off, that could be because substance use is getting into the problematic area of substance abuse and or addiction. Or it could be they're having a hard time managing the stress that they have, or a relationship is going bad, or their parents got divorced, or any number of other things. But when several signs start appearing together, that might indicate to a youth minister or anybody else concerned about a young person that there is a problem. And there are three particular signs that clinical folks use to talk about this is crossed over the line to addiction. One of the most important of those is the development of a craving, because that's what signals the sense of compulsion to the use. A craving is that feeling that you have that you've got to satisfy it or you're just suffering. And it's based on what's going on in the brain. It's a brain chemistry phenomenon. So it's not like the young person has a whole lot of control about that. They begin to crave the substance, and especially at particular times when there's stress or when they feel like they just need that. So craving, developing a tolerance, which means they require more of it and or more frequently to get the same effect. The body gets used to it. They need more to have the same good feeling come from it. And then the third one would be withdrawal, which is when the body begins to react. And this is, again, it's about the brain. Brain is one of the most important organs of our body. So when I say body, I'm talking about neurochemistry here. That the brain starts to react, the body responds to the absence of the substance, and cravings kick in, but also there can be other physical signals that are about withdrawal. Sometimes people are shaky, they're sweaty, they're clammy, other kinds of things that happen that signal that the body and the brain are wanting to be refueled by whatever the substance is that they're abusing.